We move forward to the greetings and remarks portion of our evening. This is the part in the evening that gets a little dicey as far as how long the overall length of time that we'll be here tonight is concerned, and that is directly related to the length of time that Tom Shepard intends to talk to us tonight. But before we get to Tom, we would like to invite the Polish Prince, Deputy Mayor of the City of Regina, Mr. John Findura, to come forward and bring greetings on behalf of the city. Jak się masz?
Dobrze.
Excellent.
Dobry wieczór. Witamy was wszystkich tu. Miło mi tu być. Is this the wrong room? Or?
Wrong room.
Sorry. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to be here on behalf of my colleagues, and we have you in the house, and to support our mayor. It's a great city to be part of. I immigrated from Poland in 1976, and I've always stayed here. Why? Because of you people. And when you're coming from other jurisdictions to come to Regina, you think, well, a lot of people ask me, why are you doing here? Because of the people. It's cold here, it's flat, but it's beautiful. The only place you can see sunset like you see here is on the middle of the sea. So when you when you look out into the west, beautiful sunset. And the reason it kept me here, I married a girl from Regina here. That didn't sound very good, did it? But I've played soccer here, and Councillor Hinks always bugs me about that. He always says, those wimpy soccer players. But my son, to tell you, he's playing football. And he's quite good at it. He's 6'1", so he didn't get the height from me. And a lot of the people were bugging me that, how did Hinks get into this equation of, because so it has to have been mailman, it wasn't me. But it was me. Trust me. It's nice to be up here, and I was told make it short. I was told to make it short. So again, it's my pleasure to be here on behalf of the council and our great mayor, which I'm proud to be on his team, looking at moving Regina forward, and just look around the room, the partners and stakeholders are involved in progressing our city. It's great. So thank you very much. Enjoy the evening, and thank you for the dobranoc. Dobranoc. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later. Our next speaker had a dream. Always dubious to surrender the microphone to Mr. Shepard. But we would like to invite Tom forward, President of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, to bring greetings on behalf of the Board of Directors.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Welcome to our 9th annual Regina Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony, where we honor people and organizations who have greatly contributed to sports within our wonderful city. I would especially like to welcome His Worship Mayor Pat Fiacco and the rest of City Council to our first face-to-face meeting since 2007. Good to see you all, as I have certainly missed our personal interaction of the past. Your Worship, I hope you don't have any mixed emotions about sharing the stage with me tonight, as I know we both deeply love Regina, and tonight is a night for honoring some of our best, which you undoubtedly are one of. Your Worship, you know what mixed emotions are. It would be like Ken Miller being inducted into the Football Hall of Fame, and Greg Marshall was the MC. That's like tonight. This year's very deserving inductees are Simone Bouchard-Bonheur. I might have that wrong. I remember her as the greatest basketball player we've had, is Simone Bouchard. She's an athlete in the basketball category. Arlene Day, a builder in curling. As I said, His Worship, Mayor Pat Fiacco, as a builder in the boxing category. Gary Frank, athlete in multisport. Jerry Harris, builder and multisport. And Hank Lorenzen, builder in volleyball. With this year's inductees, we will now have 54 inductees into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. That's made up of 22 athletes, 21 builders, 8 teams, and 3 patrons. There are also, as Chris mentioned, 150 honorary members with Regina connections who had previously been inducted into the Saskatchewan Hall of Fame. And so they were already in the Saskatchewan Hall of Fame when our Hall of Fame was made, so we inducted all 150 to get caught up. Now we're hoping that we induct Reginans first, and then their second induction will be the Saskatchewan Sport Hall of Fame. As Chris also said, earlier this spring, we were very proud and able to unveil our new permanent inductees display in the very high traffic area of the Cooperators Center at Evra's Place. Again, we'd like to give thanks to Mark Allen, Neil Donnelly, and Reed Peterson for their support in enabling us to showcase our inductees in a most important manner. Soon, very soon, tonight's inductees will also have their plaques on display there at the Cooperators Eventplex, with all of the other inductees that we have honored over the previous 8 years. And as Chris said, I really would recommend it to you. If you ever get a chance, the exhibition or hockey games or anything, you ever get the chance, I would invite you to view our outstanding display honoring those people and organizations that have made substantial contributions to the sporting life of our great city. I'd also be remiss if I didn't once again thank Mosems for their initial funding support. Without them, there would not be a Regina Sports Hall of Fame. They were there with the initial funds to establish what has gone on in the last 9 years in establishing our Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Their support is much appreciated. Now, on with the inductions.
We will begin the program tonight with Jerry Harris. Virtually synonymous with Luther College High School for his 31 years as a teacher, Jerry's association with the school actually goes back even further than that. As a multi-sport athlete at Luther as a student, Jerry was the school's Athlete of the Year in grade 12, earning a scholarship to the University of Saskatchewan, where he played university football for the Huskies. In his time with the Huskies, he was a team captain, a 2-time All-Star, and went on to earn his bachelor's degree in physical education and education, later to be enshrined on the U of S Wall of Fame, and was drafted by the Saskatchewan Roughriders in 1972. For 31 years, while teaching at Luther College High School, Jerry was the director of the Luther Invitational Tournament. In his time overseeing the tournament, the LIT evolved into one of the most prestigious high school basketball tournaments on the local sports calendar. In addition to his role as the tournament director, Jerry also coached. He coached football, basketball, baseball, badminton, and track and field. Jerry's football teams won city and provincial championships in 1992 and again in 2005. Jerry was also the offensive and defensive coordinator for the Regina Rams from 1978 through 1983. And during that time, the Rams won 4 league championships, 3 Western Canadian titles, and a pair of Canadian junior football championships. And he was part of the Rams team that was inducted into the Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Jerry Harris.
Thank you. I put somebody in the crowd that would sort of give me the choke sign when it was time to be up here. So you've got I got 4 minutes, so so I'll try to get through it. I'd like to begin by thanking the selection committee for accepting me into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. It's a tremendous honor to be alongside. You know what? As I get older, I never thought I got older, right? I'll put these on. How's that? Now I can see what I'm reading. I never thought I'd be alongside the people that have been inducted before me. I would like to thank those who put my name forward and wrote the letters of support. I thank you very much. My congratulations to my fellow inductees, Arlene Day, Hank Lorenzen. Both I know through their reputation in curling and volleyball worlds. One does not live in Regina and not know of hardworking people who give of themselves for the benefit of others. And these people continue to do so. I've had the opportunity to coach against Gary Frank and coach Gary Frank. I can tell you that working with him with the Regina Rams was a much more pleasurable experience. His athletic skills and determination were clearly evident. He was a pleasure to coach. Simone Bouchard is a person I've watched play basketball since church league. Improving every year, watching her play for the U of R Cougars was a joy. I truly believe she to be one of the best female basketball players to ever play here. Pat Fiacco, I could talk about him for a long time. He's got far more hair than I have, but I'm taller, so that's okay. He's always on the move. His busy schedule would put anyone down, but his drive to give back to the people in the sport of boxing is a true commitment. I would like to say that I've been involved in sports world in Regina for early age. Playing sports, that's what we did. We called it playing sports. The change of the season dictated what we were playing. Baseball in the spring, football in the fall, hockey in the winter. Everything was outdoors. Sports, I think, in particular situation made my parents happy as it provided me a place to get tired so I wouldn't drive them crazy. It was the Ritalin of our time. It was those words of encouragement from Mom. Go outside and play. We'd play football on Sundays at Boot Hill and Douglas Park, hockey on the corner rinks where you would tie your skates up at home, either walk or skate on the road to the corner rink. So much for the one skate sharpening you got in a year. Baseball in the schoolyards. I credit my dad for helping me on my way in a number of things, but one would be in the weight training area, because one hockey stick that he bought for me each year was so much tape on it to keep it from breaking that I was carrying a bumper of a car around. And no slap shots. That was the other rule. I'm sure there are many here that remember things like that. That are like the old water stations where you had to go down. You weren't water bottles. You had to go down to the water stations after practice and crank them and let all the iron run out of the things, and then drink the water from it. That was what you used to do after practice. In sports throughout my years, I played alongside or against people that became good friends, people that were opponents from all over the city that became roommates in college and still are close friends today. A real treat to have these long friendships in sport. I would say my dad was the first one that started me in my career. He also started me in making decisions. I'm pretty good about making decisions. They might not be the right one, but at least I'll make them. I was with him on a Saturday morning driving by where Miller Collegiate is now, and I saw people milling around in a shack. I said to Dad, you know, I think I'd like to try out. He says, well, would you like to or you don't like to? I said, well, I think I'd like to. So I got out of the car, and before I had a chance to decide that I didn't like to, he was gone. I had no choice. There's no waffling. He made a decision which to this day I'm always grateful for. Mom and Dad always stressed the commitment to your team and teammates. They would say that if you try out and if you make it, you do not miss practices or games, as you are committed to your coaches and your teammates. Even if things do not go your way, you work through it, but you never quit. They demonstrated this by never going on a summer holiday until after baseball was over. That was, and we would always go to Waskasum. They taught my sister and brother about respect for others, to treat them as we would want to be treated. This obviously translated into the teams that I played on, and along with my teammates. Something I felt was more important than the success of a team. In teaching, I never called students by their last name, as I felt that was disrespectful. I was always a little stubborn about certain things like that, and when I was at Luther and in the class, a teacher called me Harris, and I politely said to him that my parents had enough sense to give me a first name so that he should use it. Didn't go over well. I also did that to Jim Spavital at a grade 12 evaluation camp, and if anybody knows Jim Spavital, you know that didn't really go well either. Coaching was so much fun. I could hardly wait until the school to end so I could get to the field or the gym. It was the best place to work with the students. I loved it. Through minor high school to college, it was the game I loved to play. Along the way, I had coaches that gave their time to allow all of us to learn and to have fun. People like Leo Kobayashi, Don Jesse, Lionel Ruhr, our baseball coach, Doug Miner. The beauty of Regina is that these types of people are doing the same thing today. They're giving their time to benefit young people. To these coaches who give their time and their efforts, I say thank you on behalf of so many people. I started Luther after graduation from U of S, after hounding Morris Anderson until he relented and gave me a job. They needed a football coach that taught. This is the main reason why I was hired. I was lucky that things worked out, and I taught there for close to 32 years. In my journey, I was able to teach and coach alongside some very good people. One person in particular was Dick Stark, who I think I drove him crazy over the years. We taught alongside one another. It was like a Mutt and Jeff story. We coached football, basketball, baseball, everything. When it came to LIT, I was the dreamer and he was the man of logic. Little did he know that I was a dreamer from way back, and I was on Harris time. Dick was 15 minutes early. I was 15 minutes late, so in my belief, we were on time because it averaged out. I'm never satisfied with the answer because from an early age, if I had an idea and expressed it and someone said, you can't do that, I would say, why not? They would say, because, or we always do it this way. This was not good enough for me. I started going to Europe to bike and haul in 1985. When I mentioned to people that I was going to do this, they replied, you can't do that. And I said, why not? Because no one does that. I think that response was what drove me to push forward. I just returned last week from the 31st bike tour into Holland. I realized logically that some things cannot be done for various reasons, but if it is because it never has been tried, then it should be investigated before the jerk reaction of not possible is declared. It got to the point after so many times of driving my dad and mom crazy with things when I said I was going to was going to design and build our house, he would shake his head from side to side and say, you have more guts than brains, he said. I know he meant that as a compliment. I'm inducted as a builder in football and for the LIT. I would like to say as a student in grade 7 and 8, I used to stand in line for a ticket just like many of you people here did. And I dreamt of the time at the end of the gym that I could be a part of it. Never did I know that I would eventually plan it and help to develop it further. In 1974, when I arrived at Luther, I became the athletic director, which involved many things, including organizing LIT. Dick Stark was a senior boys basketball coach, and together as a team, we moved forward with the tournament. In 1975, I realized we had to change things. We had to have the students to be involved, not just a few, and not just the basketball players. We made a conscious decision to have the students run in what we thought should be a professional manner. We developed a committee students had to apply for with a resume. The faculty advisors would go through these resumes and select those who with qualifications but also have the skills of leadership. That old word of commitment. We talked about presenting themselves in a professional manner in interviews, phone calls, and visits to sponsors. One of the things we would talk about to them is that don't give adults a reason to think that you're just a high school kid. Impress upon them that you are confident, not arrogant, efficient and organized and non-haphazard, and on a mission to succeed. The tournament goal was to provide an environment that players thought they were playing in the NBA. The students who organized it were excited to work so hard for the tournament and for the school. It was a weekend for them to take over, to take charge, and to have many great memories. It was never in a place to make money, but it was a place to provide an atmosphere of fun and friendship for young adults. We're very fortunate to have the support of administration people like Morris Anderson, Don King, Al Christensen, Birbal Knoll. I certainly thank these people for allowing us to step out of the box and move forward. It continues with people that still uphold the same standards and work so very hard. They're sitting at the Luther College table over here. The most supportive people through all of this is my family, my wife Jill, who attended Martin Collegiate. We met in high school. And I think that sport actually saved my life, because a Luther guy at a Martin dance, they're rare. So I was lucky that I knew a bunch of the guys there, so I was very fortunate. Our girls, Megan and Logan, who are always being taken to the gym or to games, practices, no complaint. One cannot do or spend the time as I have without a support of family and friends. And I have been very fortunate and blessed to have these, and I thank you very much. In closing, I would say for all of us today being inducted, that to have you all here is a pleasure. And we thank you very much. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the 2011 class of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Arlene Day, a builder in the sport of curling. Yeah, that's Nana, all right. As ubiquitous to the sport of curling in this province as the rocks and the rings themselves, Arlene has established herself as one of the most respected and venerated curling officials in the country. She began her career as an official in 1983, and over the course of the next 28 years has been involved in virtually every major curling event there is. Arlene's first assignment at the national stage was the 1989 National Junior Curling Championships, and since then she has served as a head official, an alternate head official, and an umpire at dozens of national and international championships throughout Canada. She's been involved as an official at the World Championships, the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, the Continental Cup, and the Olympic Trials, and was selected as an official for the 2010 Olympics in Vancouver. However, long before achieving her success as an official, Arlene enjoyed a rather impressive career as a player, including a victory in the 1982 Saskatchewan Women's Curling Championships and a berth in the Scotties Tournament of Hearts that year. A life spent dedicated to curling also includes time spent as a coach, most notably for Janet Clue's winning junior team at the 87 Canada Winter Games and for Kathy Fallman's provincial championship winning rink. She has held numerous roles over the years, including president and head official, formerly of the Saskatchewan Ladies Curling Association, and helped in the amalgamation of the Canadian Ladies Curling Association and the Canadian Curling Association. Arlene helped develop Canadian curling officiating systems and has served on numerous CCA officiating committees. She has instructed students and adults in officiating and how to play clinics throughout Saskatchewan. She was presented with the Canadian Curling Association's Award of Achievement and the Saskatchewan Curling Association's Honorary Life Membership. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Arlene Day.
Let me first begin by congratulating the other inductees this evening. To be included in such a class as are being inducted tonight is truly an honor for me. When I first heard that I had received this award from the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, my initial reaction was, wow, you can actually receive an award for something that you love to do. I am sure the inductees tonight would also agree with me that when I say I don't volunteer to receive awards or rewards, I do it because I love it. To be involved, I'll be there in a minute, sweetheart. That's my girl. To be involved in sport in any capacity, whether it be as a competitor, volunteer, or otherwise, is one of the most rewarding experiences I have had. I would like to thank the Saskatchewan Curling Association for nominating me and for allowing me to climb the ranks of an official through their association. To the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, thank you for honoring me in this way. Most importantly, to my family, my husband Dennis, my two sons, Kent and Mark. Thank you for supporting me through every step of the way with competing and volunteering. Without your support, I wouldn't have been able to participate or be involved in the sport I love. Thank you very much.
Our next inductee into the 2011 class of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, is Hank Lorenzen, a builder in the sport of volleyball. Hank was the founding member of the Saskatchewan Volleyball Association, writing its constitution and bylaws back in 1965, and later becoming the Saskatchewan Volleyball Association president. He also served as president of the Canadian Volleyball Association and is an honorary member of the SVA, and was given the SVA's Saskatchewan Centennial Leadership Award in 2005 and was a Saskatchewan Sports Hall of Fame inductee in 2008. Hank was instrumental in establishing Sask Sports by chairing a committee on the feasibility of a provincial sports federation and by developing the lottery system as a fundraiser for sport, culture, and recreation in our province. Not surprisingly, Hank became Sask Sports' first president in 1971. Previous to his involvement as an administrator, Hank played volleyball for 50 years, primarily at the Regina YMCA, and from 1960 through 1964 at the University of Manitoba. He has coached many club teams, as well as the University of Regina men's and women's squads. Hank conducted coaching and officiating clinics throughout the province and was the first Saskatchewan official to receive national certification. Hank worked the 1967 Pan American Games in Winnipeg and the NORCECA Zone Championships in 1969. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Hank Lorenzen.
Well, after a fine introduction like that, there isn't much more to tell you about me. I want to say hello to everyone. A lot of you people I don't know. I haven't seen you playing volleyball for sure. And I have a special hello for all of you. I want to go through my list of probably 100 interesting volleyball stories. And pick out one fairly interesting and good one. It was in regard to the trip that was mentioned to Mexico City. That was in 1969, the year after Mexico held the Olympics. I was president of the Canadian Volleyball Association at the time, and we were organizing our national teams to travel to Mexico City, the first time our national team, volleyball teams, had gone to international competition. As it happened, these NORCECA championships at that time were supposed to be in one of the U.S. protectorates, and it was Puerto Rico, as a matter of fact, but unfortunately in Puerto Rico they had a nasty airplane accident and a lot of the volleyball people were killed in that. So they did switch it quite quickly over to Mexico City, who had just finished running a complete competition. Now, when we trained for this, the teams were at Waterloo University. So we were all down there with them and getting things organized and getting them ready to go on this trip. The surprising thing that occurred was that when we arrived in Toronto at the airport, ready to take the plane to Chicago and then to Mexico City, pardon me, the head office people for the Volleyball Association showed up at the airport, and they had our tickets and they had our boarding passes, but they didn't have any money for the team to travel to Mexico City. A rather shocking event, I can tell you, but a good one for a new president to have to handle. So Phil and I more or less financed the part of the trip that was necessary from that point on, and away we went. It turned out to be very, very good, of course. The competition was very good. Our teams placed well, and following that competition, when we returned home, a number of the people who had taken advantage of available cash sent us very nice letters and thanked us for helping them out while they were down there. Now, I tell you that story only because in all these events that involve the management and the organization of sports organizations, there's a lot of fun and a lot of good activity going on, but there's also the odd little kink that happens, and that was one of them. So I do have the other 99 stories available, but I told you that one really just out of interest to some of the things that can happen to you, especially when you get to be president of a national organization. Now, I haven't taken part in very much volleyball for the last few years. I injured myself playing ball at the Y, and that sort of more or less finished my career. And but I do keep track of what's happening and watch all the other activities that people are presently running in volleyball, and pay close attention to what the university teams are doing here. Now, rather than tell you a lot more of the interesting stories, I want to thank you very, very much for this honor. And I want to point out, as others have, that there are a lot of people behind us who help out with these activities, and when you're a volunteer and you're giving your time and your energy and some cash into looking after the position that you have, there are people in the family and in the nearby acquaintances who help out with that as well. And they're all to be thanked, and I have to accept this honor tonight on behalf of quite a few of them. And with that, I'll thank you.
Gary Frank, multi-sport athlete. Gary grew up here in Regina and played elite levels of hockey, football, team handball, basketball, and baseball, proving himself to be quite accomplished at most everything he played. He was recruited by a number of different universities for a number of different sports, but baseball was the sport at which he truly excelled. Gary spent the years from 1978 through 1980 in the Toronto Blue Jays system as a pitcher, and one of only 5 Canadians to be in the developmental leagues for Major League Baseball. He became a fixture on the senior baseball circuit and was recruited by New Brunswick's Marysville Royals, proving himself to be a key cog in the machinery en route to winning the 1981 Canadian Men's Baseball Championship. The following year, Gary was picked up by the Saskatoon Patrick Liners and helped them to a silver medal finish. Gary later helped the Regina Capitals win provincial and Western Canadian championships. He was also a hockey goaltender who played for the midget AAA Regina Pat Canadians and had a brief stint with the Western Hockey League's Regina Pats. His basketball career included the 1978 city and provincial high school championships with Miller, as well as a senior men's city championship in 1998. Gary played football as a two-way all-star at Miller before spending 1979 with the Regina Rams, making it to the National Junior Final. He played 25 years of team handball, regularly winning league championships and representing the province of Saskatchewan 8 times, once placing 3rd at the national championships. He coached team handball and hockey, but primarily served as the coach for high-level baseball teams. Gary was inducted as a member of the New Brunswick Sports Hall of Fame in 2005, and it is certainly evident that he deserves to be recognized by the Hall of Fame in his hometown. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Gary Frank.
Thank you.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Sports Hall of Fame board members and committee members for accepting my nomination. And congratulations to the other 5 2011 inductees. It's a great honor to be here with you. It's a great honor to stand here before you today. My friend since childhood, Bruce Matheson, is responsible for my nomination. And I owe him a great gratitude and thanks. Bruce and I were kids running around the ball diamonds and hockey rinks. We grew up together. A sincere thank you to my family and friends, many of whom are here tonight with me, to celebrate this occasion with me, and my wife Leona, my son Danny, my daughter Savannah. My youngest son Tyler is away at school in Calgary and couldn't be here. I appreciate all you being here for me, not only tonight, but always. I was small once, believe it. In grade 8, I was only 5'11" with size 14 shoes. I was fortunate enough to grow into them. My poor mother had a heck of a time trying to keep me in shoes and clothes. She also worked hard keeping food in the house. There was always a pie, cinnamon buns on the cupboard, not only for me, but for my friends too, Bruce, Daryl, Jim, who are here. I'm often reminded by my family growing up of the cereal bowl I used to use, if you call it that, I guess. It was a large enough salad bowl that could be filled with about a half a gallon of milk. What can I say? I was large, grown, and an active kid. Sports has been in my blood since I was very young. Here's how an everyday went for me in a day in the life of a kid in the street, or a street kid. We were all street kids then. That's where we played, right, Jerry? Outside in the street. I'm just going to go through kind of that day, how it would go. I'd wake up, eat, of course, race school, play grounders before school started. At recess, we played grounders. Went back into class. At lunch, we raced home to eat, watch Flintstones, of course, and raced back to school to play grounders again. Back into class, grounders in the afternoon recess, home after school to eat, go outside and play street ball, eat supper, then head over to the playground for practice, or go to a friend's, play stickball in the front yards of all the neighbors, or get picked up to go play a game. At the end of the night, before bed, eat again. As I mentioned, my mom had a hard time keeping food in the house. This was our daily schedule. In the winter, grounders would be replaced with shinny in the streets. We were going to the outdoor rink where you'd curve your plastic blade over the stove to have a hockey practice. Outdoors. Imagine. I'm sure a lot of you remember those days. That was a day in the life of a kid, a street kid. Until my mid-teens, I played primarily baseball and hockey, and then added basketball and football into my routine. In my late 20s, after an injury ended my baseball playing days, I took up the sport of team handball. I was extremely fortunate through all the years while participating in different sports that I was a part of teams that won league provincials, westerns, nationals, and so on. Any accomplishments that I achieved through the years are not only through my efforts, but the efforts of my coaches, teammates, family, and friends. It would have been impossible without these people there beside me, behind and in front of the plate or in front of the crease. It is only because of teamwork that I was able to excel in sports. The old saying, "There is no I in team," rings true. However, I was recently found a quote by Mia Hamm. Some of you may know who that is, soccer player. And it's the first time I've seen it, and it really hit home with me. And it goes like this. It's just, we've used the no I in team, and this kind of contradicts that a little bit. And I really like it. She said, "I am a member of a team. I rely on a team. I defer to the team and sacrifice for it. Because of the team, not the individual, is the ultimate champion." And that just kind of, when I saw that, it just put a new meaning to the no I in team. It kind of did put the I in it. Recently, I was asked, what is the single thing that stands out in my mind regarding the sports I was involved in? At the time, I thought it was the memory of playing baseball with the likes of Lloyd Moseby, Jesse Barfield, Dave Steve, and others. But the more I think about it, it's the many good friends and competitors that I've met over the years. The same can be said of players I've coached through the last 25 years, some of whom are here tonight as well. Coaching has allowed me to give back or pay it forward. But there's a little secret I'll share with you. As a coach, you also get so much in return. I once had a little 4 or 5-year-old girl on one of my ball teams who played the whole season without getting a hit. That is until the final game. And it was joyful for her and me. I was just as excited about that as I was when some of my teams won provincial championships. A small bit of advice to remember: always go hard, work hard, and play hard, but have fun doing it. And practice, practice, practice. Thank you.
Our next inductee into the 2011 class of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is Simone Bouchard, an athlete in the sport of basketball. During her standout 5-year career at the University of Regina from 1999 through 2004, Simone was the engine that drove the Cougar team to unprecedented heights. A Conference Rookie of the Year and a member of the CIS All-Rookie team in 2001, Simone announced her presence with authority on the national basketball scene at the 2001 National Women's Basketball Championships, leading Regina to wins over McMaster, Calgary, and Alberta as the Cougars won the 2001 national title. For her efforts at the national tournament, Simone was named tournament MVP. During her 5-year career at the University of Regina, Simone also won 1 Canada West and 2 GPAC Conference Championships. She was recognized as a Conference All-Star in 2001, 2003, and again in 2004, and was recognized as a first-team All-Canadian in 2003 and again the following season. Simone was the CIS Defensive Player of the Year in 2003 and graduated as the Cougars' all-time leading scorer with 1,439 points. But perhaps Simone's crowning moment as an individual player came in 2004 when she was named winner of the Nan Kopp Award as the top women's university basketball player in Canada. Simone played for Team Canada at the under-17 and under-19 national squads, participating in the 2001 and 2003 FISU World University Games. She was also a member of the 2003 National Development Team and went on to play 1 season of professional ball in Denmark, once again earning MVP honors. Simone was recognized by the University of Regina and inducted into their Sports Hall of Fame in 2009, and is certainly a well-deserving inductee into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, Simone Bouchard.
I've never been beat up so much as I have this past hour sitting there. This thing inside me is kicking the crap out of me, so I'm gonna be short because I've gotta pee. Sorry. So the day I got my letter saying that I would be inducted into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, I had mixed emotions. What? Why me? Who would have nominated me? And then I was like, am I that old already? No offense to my fellow inductees. So I asked my husband after I showed him, and I said, why me? And he did the right husband thing to do and said, oh, Simone, you're so good, this, that, and the other. So thanks for that, honey. When I was at my parents' place, probably about a week ago for lunch, a place where I go nearly every day for lunch. I teach at Riffle, so it's close, and the food's free. I finally read the news release. It was on top of Mom's fridge, of course, and I was reading everybody's accomplishments and achievements, and I was taken back. And I thought, holy man, I'm in a class with some amazing people. So that's truly an honor. I don't know how nominations work or how the committee chooses the winners. I have no idea how I got the letter or who put my name forth, but obviously, thanks so much, whoever that was. Maybe you're here tonight, maybe you're not. Maybe I forgot to invite you. That's awkward. So for me, looking back, I was just a girl on the court doing what everybody who plays sport loves to do, is just to participate in their sport. And basketball was it for me. I got to play with people I cared deeply about, and I got to play in front of people who I cared deeply about. Ugh. So I owe all of my successes, all of them, to my teammates, and a couple of them are here tonight, Logan and Jana, shout out. They pushed me to be better every day, and their friendship was and still is very special to me. I was also fortunate enough to have had some amazing coaches with experience who were qualified and very personable and always pushed me to achieve my best. They taught me skills on the court and important life skills that I try and teach the kids that I coach today. My mom and dad, Arnold and Denise, were with me every single step of the way from when I was in grade 6 and started dabbling into all my different sports. And for that, I'm forever grateful. My sisters, one of them is here tonight, my accountant. They're both my rocks. They kept me very grounded and very modest and always let me know what I could do better, and so I thank them for that. They always challenged me. And I think they were secretly my #1 fans. I'm lucky to have my grandparents here tonight, Grandpa and Grandma Bouchard. Everybody knows who they are, so they don't need an introduction. They besides traveling with us to wherever we were playing, they've kept a scrapbook for me since I was, I don't know, 10 years old and got my first track and field ribbon in elementary school. And of course, all this stuff is going to be in the scrapbook too. So thanks for being here, you guys, and for all the support. Finally, I better say something about my husband. He'll get mad. He's my soundboard, and he has been. I met him in university, and when I had a bad day, he was always there. He was another athlete there for volleyball, so he understood kind of the things I was going through, so it's nice to have him around. He's my realist, and and he's also my best friend. Despite the miles and the time between us, he pushed me to take a risk by playing overseas, something that I might not have otherwise done, because I'm a homebody, of course. So thanks for giving up a year without me, honey. I know it was hard. I'll just just finish by saying that I'm extremely honored to be entered into the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, and will continue to give back to the community that has given me so much. This is a sidebar. Sorry, Christy, I'm going off script. She hates when I do that. A couple of my volleyball girls, weird, I know I coach volleyball, sort of, more like cheerlead. They came to me at break and said, "Did you get my letter?" And I'm like, "What letter are you talking about?" Turns out that they all made those like Thanksgiving hands that look like turkeys. They still do that in high school, I guess. Anyway, so I went to my mailbox in the staff room and there was like 10 to 12 of these nice letters, and mostly from the athletes that I coach. And that's the most rewarding part about sport for me, is that I could give them something that I've received for my whole career in sport. So congratulations, fellow inductees. You're all amazing people, and thanks for giving me this honor tonight.
Our final inductee into the 2011 class of the Regina Sports Hall of Fame is the man responsible for about 2/3 of the attendance in the room tonight. When the numbers look like they might be down, never hurts to induct an Italian. Our last inductee indicated that she was going to be short because she had to pee. Our next inductee is simply short. Our final inductee into the 2011 Regina Sports Hall of Fame induction class is Pat Fiacco, a builder in the sport of boxing. Long before he became one of the most respected boxing officials in Canada, and perhaps, I dare say, the world, Pat Fiacco began boxing in 1974, advancing to the elite level of competition while winning a provincial championship and becoming the 1980 Canadian Intermediate Bantamweight champion. After the completion of his competitive career, Pat became an official in 1983, which is where his contributions to the sport of boxing flourished. He served on the AIBA, which is the World Amateur Boxing Association, which is apparently a horrible acronym because that would be WABA as I read it. Nevertheless, he served on the AIBA Referee and Judges Commission, was reappointed for a 4-year term as the Secretary of the Referee and Judges Commission in 2011. I'm just going to pause for a moment so we can Not sure I need to say anything else. Pat was recently elected the president of Boxing Canada in 2011 and has just returned from the World Boxing Championships in Azerbaijan. As we all know, Pat was elected mayor of the city of Regina in 2000 and continues to be a mentor and an instructor to boxing officials within the province of Saskatchewan and in Canada. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Regina Sports Hall of Fame, His Worship, Pat Fiacco.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. I did just get back from Baku, Azerbaijan last night, and I was fine up until I got on the plane and I caught this cold. So you'll have to bear with me. Tom, when you were up making your comments, and you mentioned the lottery. After you made your comments, my wife leaned over and said, "We haven't got a ticket yet. Do you think he'll sell you one?" And of course, he'll sell us a ticket, honey, don't worry. But it was actually, Tom left a message on my voicemail about being inducted. So when he called, he said, "It's Tom Shepard." But it was very much a pleasant voicemail to get, Tom. So thank you very much. To all of the inductees that have been inducted this evening, a big congratulations, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be in your company, as well as the previous inductees over the past number of years that are here as well. An absolute pleasure. To Councillor Fundura, we got work to do, buddy, on your remarks. Guys, can you give him a hand? The Polish Prince. To my colleagues on City Council that are here this evening, a big thank you for being here. To members of our administration, again, a big thank you for being here. It means a lot. The interesting thing about tonight is I wasn't sure what to expect, because usually I'm at these events being able to talk about others, and quite frankly, it's a bit uncomfortable for me to be up here. It certainly is an honor. Have you guys seen the movie Analyze This and Analyze That with Robert De Niro? And I think it was there's a part of the story is that he's at an age where he pretty much cries at everything. Do you remember that? Where he cries at everything, he doesn't know what the hell's going on. I'm at that stage in my life. So you're gonna have to bear with me, and maybe too, because I'm tired from the 24-hour trip yesterday. But I was reflecting these last, when you're on these trips, you get a lot of alone time to think about things, and and you think about the important things in life. And it's fitting that this event is on the eve of Thanksgiving. Because we have a lot to be thankful for. All of you in the room. Lifelong friends that are here tonight. New friends, as I mentioned, since becoming mayor. In March of 1974, when I asked my parents about joining boxing, like they said to anything I wanted to do, or my brothers wanted to do, yes, of course. So in March, I remember getting dropped off at the gym and climbing the stairs at the Laird Gym, Regina Boxing Club, and meeting Ken Goff. And who knew that March of 1974 was going to be the defining moment, in my opinion, the defining moment that would determine the character that I am today. So I have a lot to be thankful for. To the Goff family, George and Brenda Goff are here tonight. They were my family away from home, because we spent a lot of nights at the gym and a lot of weekends traveling to competitions. But they had a set of values that were important. And I think for those of you that are all in sport, you recognize what those values are, and you hope that as parents, when your kids are away, that they're being taken care of. And I can tell you that I was very well taken care of, as well as my brother. So I'm thankful to the Goff family for not only caring about people like me, but there's so many others that walk through those doors of the Regina Boxing Club that it's changed their lives. To Boxing Saskatchewan and my brother for nominating me, and the tables, the board is here, so thank you very much for the nomination. I've been absolutely privileged to, I'm not even 50 yet, I turn 50 next year, but I've had an absolute privilege to travel the world because of this sport. And I hope to continue in the years to come. But you learn so much when you travel. And the best part about traveling is coming home. There's no question. But you do learn a lot. You learn how lucky we are to live in an incredible country like Canada, an incredible province like Saskatchewan, and an incredible city like Regina, where everyone in this room, we all have something in common, which is absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely unbelievable, really. So as I said, as on the eve of Thanksgiving, it is fitting that we sit here. And, we were, like many of you, we grew up in the inner city. Our family didn't have a lot. Mom was a stay-at-home mom. Dad worked for the city, extremely hard. And as I said, whenever we wanted to do something, we played minor hockey like everybody else. Gary's stories of a day in the life of a street kid is very reflective of, I think, a lot of our stories of getting up, going to school, recess, and as Jerry said, just staying out of trouble. That's what sport did for us. But, I think back on my parents and how tough it must have been for them because, they moved to this country in 1957, needed to understand the Canadian culture. So here we wanted to play hockey. They didn't know anything about hockey, but they knew we wanted to play, so spent the money for the equipment and sacrificed stuff that they probably wanted to do themselves instead to let us do what we wanted to do, and then, of course, boxing. So getting over the understanding the culture, but also the financial strain that comes with that. I think we all can relate to that. So I'm certainly thankful for them, and Mom and Dad are here tonight. On May 17th, our lives changed. My father had a stroke. I've never been more scared. He survived. The fighting will that he had, and of course the unbelievable staff at the Regina Capel Health Region. But if there was a Hall of Fame for moms and dads, my mom and dad would be in that Hall of Fame, as I think most of your parents would be as well. So thanks, Mom and Dad. And of course to my wife and my kids. They're adults. They've turned out to be pretty good kids, but they've allowed me to travel around the world without them, because they know that this is a passion of mine, and that like many of you, we do it because we love it. We don't do it to to be recognized. This is a bonus, of course, to be recognized, but we do it because we love it. And when you get to be our age, we do it because we owe it back. Somebody was there to allow us to play. We have an obligation to make sure that we're there to let other people play and other kids get a chance. So that's why we do it. Anyways, I took up more than 4 minutes, but I didn't take as long as Jerry. To all of you, thank you so much for coming out and supporting the inductees that are being inducted tonight. It certainly means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to all of us. God bless.